Dr. File1hr, roll call, please.
Yes. Chair Lee.
Present.
Okay, thank you. Director John.
I'm not used to be the first.
Here.
Joanna. Director Joanna.
You get used to it.
Here.
Director Donahue.
Here.
All present.
So now, please, rise up, please. Take our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Now, the first part, which is my favorite part of the whole meeting, public comment.
Put your microphone right next
Public,
to
is it on?
Push it all the way over.
Yes, just like that. Public comment. Can you hear me? Any member of the public may address the board relating to any matter pertaining to district business and within the board's authority to take action, provided the matter is not on the board's agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes with additional time at the discretion of the chairperson. The public wishing to address the board on items that do not appear on the agenda may do so. However, the board will not take any action other than referring the item to the staff for study and analysis, and may or may not place the item on a future agenda. So if you see this, you can ask for additional time. Thumbs up, comment. Any public comment?
I do. I have a comment.
Okay.
No, I'm nine. Okay, nine.
No, okay. I did a little research today on receptacles for dog poop, essentially, that are in public spaces that have been used for a long time and that are really robust. So these things cost about $200, $250.
I think we're out of order. We're out of order because he's not allowed to make a off-agenda item.
Right.
If that is something that Director Donahue wants to address, we can address it at a future, but it's not, it doesn't count as a public comment if he's on the board.
I think
That's
it might
something we
be
have to pay
appropriate at
for.
the end of our meeting where the board
Yeah.
can bring up items
Yep.
for
Yeah, at the end
future
of the meeting.
discussion.
Okay, so we need to move FRM up.
Okay, so we are now going to get the staff report from the FIM.
FRM? Yeah.
You online? Can you hear us?
Are you online?
I'm online. Hi, everyone. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
yes.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
Patrick, are you guys able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we're all
Okay,
good.
great. Sorry, I'm at a conference, so it's a little loud here. Okay, so the staff report from FRM is we replaced the grinder pump at the facility as well as the slide gate handle for the contact chamber. So that's my report out from the wastewater treatment plant. On the water side, we replaced the temperature transducer for the filter system, and I'm happy to report with approval from the State Water Board, we were able to take off the filters offline on September 16th. Taking the filters offline allows for reduced required monitoring and for routine maintenance to be completed on the equipment. And then on the compliance update, we compiled the data to complete the sub-monitoring report and discharge. My report is CWIX, and that was just included in our report just as an FYI. We'll finish it up once we get all of the samples in there, but that was included in the report as well. So that is my update for the board.
Thank you. So now we move on consent calendar item.
Well, can we ask Karina some questions? I have a few questions for
Are
Karina.
there any public comments?
Yeah,
for FRM.
because she did her thing.
Oh, Karina,
So
yeah.
now we have to go back, the other one, the other.
Any public comments on that?
Any public comment on the FIM report?
Yeah, Karina, can you kind of give us,
Public.
Comments.
I thought we did the board.
No on the
comments
online.
first.
no one online, okay, Karina, can you kind of give us some kind of an estimate on acre feet per year that we're pumping right now? The water pump?
So let me pull up the report. So right now in the report, we are giving you guys the last page of the report, we are giving you guys the production data. That's in gallons. I would have to do the conversion. If we are interested in acre feet, I can ask my department to start adding acre feet as well as that. That's an easy fix on this report.
Okay.
So I've been talking with the district, Patrick and Kathy, about producing a report of like water loss. So I'm going to be working with them this month on that. What we need and what we've produced for other districts is I just need the units sold so I can include that. And so I think the district has been used to, the previous firm was doing the billing and the O&M, so they had that information. So we're not doing the billing, so I just need to get that number from the district. So I will coordinate with Patrick and Kathy to get that number, put it in this packet, and then we can do some graphing. That's not an uncommon thing for my firm to report out. I just need the information. So I'll get that for you guys next month.
Thank you. The reason for this is we've got like a 30-year record of acre feet per year. I'm just trying to figure out how the Highway 1 closure is affecting the water usage, in our town. So that's my reason for asking this question. It's just every year there's long-term data on this.
Of course, yeah, no, happy to. We have previous years, I can look into implementing that. I've done other districts where we were the operator for a decade or so, and it was nice to just have that previous graphing. So let me talk to Patrick and Kathy about what information we have and how I can get it best put into something with numerical data for you guys each month, and then also some sort of visual, because I think graphs are very helpful as well. So.
That would really be appreciated. And you said you're still working on the discrepancy of how much water is pumped versus how much water is being billed. You're still working on that?
Not necessarily discrepancy. I have you guys get reported out from me right now what water is being pumped. That's the production number on the last page of the packet. I don't know how much is being sold because I don't get that number from the district right now. So I will get that, and Patrick and I can coordinate. It's just going to be a matter of I can't finish my board pack report until I get that number. But again, that's just a process. So
okay, thank you.
and I will work on that.
We have that for every month.
Super easy.
Thank
So
you.
we'll put the two pieces together so you can compare them.
Thank you, Karina. So we move on to consent calendar items. I guess. All items are approved by a single action. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar for a separate discussion upon request from a member of the public, district staff, or a director. Unless an item is pulled from separate consideration by the board, the following items are recommended for approval without further discussion. If the public would like to comment, we'll do it after we discuss this. A, review and approval of minutes for the meeting on September 29, 2024.
They're both
I thought we were
considered at
doing
the same
consent
time. Yeah.
Agenda item first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Read,
But we're gonna,
read B2.
The recommendation, we approved it without discussion. So just, we approved it.
So just
Make a
read B
meeting.
as well, and then.
Should we vote on that?
You
No,
you
it's
aren't going to
unless
vote
somebody-
on both of them.
unless somebody requests it, somebody's requested.
We'll move on to item B, review and approval of September disbursements journal. Any objection?
So
Is there any
is there a
public comment?
motion? To accept the consent calendar?
Yes. Any public comments?
Nobody online?
So we don't have to vote on this one?
Yeah, you do.
We do vote, now we vote.
I make a motion that we approve the two items A and B as together.
I second.
Call for a vote?
Yes.
Chair Lee,
Yes.
Director Diamond,
Yes.
Director Tawana,
Yes.
Director Donahue.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes 4-0.
Item 6, business action items. Public comments will be at the conclusion of each business action item and limited to 3 minutes per person per item. Item A, review and approval of the fiscal year 2022 and 2023 audit report.
So Adam Geis of our financial auditors is online. Adam, can you, there he is. He's actually showing up here. So Adam, you want to take the board through the audit report and answer any questions?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what you have here is the annual audit of the fiscal year ended June 30 of 2023. So we're talking about the year that ended a year ago, not the year that just ended a couple of months ago. And so I just kind of wanted to walk through it. The first pages 2 and 3, I wanted to point out that this is the audit opinion in the financial statements, and this is an unmodified audit opinion, which is the best kind of audit opinion meeting that we were able to get substantial information from the district, and that we agree with the numbers that are presented here in financial statements. And then I'll just kind of walk through a couple of the highlights. So starting on page 4, this is the statement of net position, or similar to a balance sheet in the business world. A couple things I wanted to point out here. Cash and investments were up from the prior year. And fixed assets on the asset side are down a little bit, mostly with the fixed assets. The depreciation, the annual depreciation for the year was well in excess of the capital additions. I think there was only about $4,500 of additions during the year. Liabilities increased quite a bit. There are 2 main items here that were in 2022 that were not present in 2022. One for $85,000. This was the legal settlement that was agreed upon in October of 23 and since been paid. But since that information is known and it relates to past items, we went ahead and booked an accrual and the related expense for it in the 23 financial statements. So 2024 financial statements, that legal settlement pay will go away, and there won't be any expense for it in 2024 because it's already recorded here. The other large new item was the unearned revenue for about $680,000. This was the capacity fees received from B&H Holdings that were being held until the Gulf Coast Commission allowed the project to move forward. The only other thing I want to point out on this page is the ending net position was about $2.7 million. Of that $2.7 million, about $1.9 million of that is the net position that comes from the value of the capital assets. So the remaining $800,000 or so is available for other purposes. The next page, page 5, is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in that position. Again, for those in the business world, this would be an income statement or profit and loss statement. A couple highlights I want to point out here. The service or operating revenue up top increased slightly. Operating expenses increased. Again, there's $85,000 for accruing that legal settlement. And then there are some increases in the operations expense and in the repairs and maintenance expenses. Those were kind of the big changes. Down in the non-operating revenues and expenses, one thing that went away, there was $136,000 of COVID relief funding that was received in 2022. That was just a one-time thing. There was no additional funding received in 2023. So in the end, there was a decrease in net business income of about $261,000 for the year. And also, I did want to point out there that the unearned revenue that I just discussed on the prior page, that's not reflected in the income statement because that revenue is unearned. There's no revenue being recorded for it. So that would have almost a $700,000 swing there if that revenue is received and recorded. A couple other items I wanted to point out. Page 13 of the financial statements, notes 6 and 7. This is the $500,000 loan that the district had with the Department of Agriculture. And I just want to point out that the district continued to pay on that loan and that there was no new debt taken out in 2023. On page 14, a couple items here. Note 9, related party transactions. This is the disclosure of payments that were made to Grace Environmental Services during the fiscal year ended June 30, 2023. And then in note 10, there's a little bit more information on the legal settlement, and then also a little bit of discussion of how the district plans to go through the dissolution process. That was incidentally for reasons. That is not considered a going concern on the 2023 financial statements because going concern happens if there's something that the district is going to resolve within a year, which happens. And then finally, the last two pages I want to point out, page 15 and 16. This is the information, same information that's on the statement of changes in net position earlier, but now it's shown broken out between the sanitation, the water, and the general activities of the district in full for 2023 and on page 16, 2027. A couple other items I just wanted to hit on. There was two supplemental letters that went along with the financial statements. One was just a disclosure of some of the accounting practices. The one thing I wanted to note here, we mentioned that we assisted the district with a few adjustments at year end, mostly minor, except to clear the suspense account out from their financial system to report those to accounts receivable. Because those items were building up in the suspense account and hadn't been transferred over. So that adjustment was made. And then the other letter, there was one finding that we wanted to report. We came out to the district, initially did do field work towards the end of June for the 2023 audit. And we noticed that there were some items that we were trying to look at, some disbursements of various types, where we could not find the invoices to back up those disbursements. So Patrick and Kathy did their best to kind of go through and try and find some of those items. Some were found and we were able to complete audit work in those areas. There was a few disbursements, 12 in total, that we had been looking for that were unable to be found. From our understanding, this mostly was a result of the transitioned during the year after Grace left. Some of the invoices from that period of time just could not be located. And so then the district's response is shown here in the response to the finding. That's about all I wanted to go over. So I guess I'll open it back up to you guys for any questions.
I have some silly question, but is it the unearned revenue? Is that an estimate or is actual?
On the what?
The unearned revenue? Is that an
That was
estimate?
actual cash received in those payments. So it's received, but because the project still needs to go through approval from the California Coastal Commission, that revenue is basically the cash is sitting there, but revenue is recorded for it.
So it's not part of the calculation in the net? Is it as well? Like when you have the net position, it's not included in the calculation, right?
Right, it's not because it's an asset in cash, and then there's a liability for the other revenue, so completely offsets each other.
I had a question about the unearned revenue. Is it typically hands-off, or is that something that the district could utilize while we're waiting for approval?
Yeah, technically it would be more hands-off because it's not earned revenue yet. So it's basically sitting there holding until the project is approved, then it's earned, and then it's available for usage.
I have a question. On page 4, you went back and talked about long-term liabilities. And you did talk about the $85,000 for Ron Hurlbert, but there's a discrepancy of much more than that. Can you kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
85 current.
So the discrepancy, I mean, the two big discrepancies is the $679,000 in unearned revenue that we were just going over,
Yeah.
and then the $85,000 for the legal settlement. So that's an increase of almost $800,000 right there.
So that would explain that, the long-term liability differential?
That would explain the total liability differential. The long-term liability is actually decreased a little bit as the debt payments are made.
Okay, now I understand. Thank you.
Well,
Any other questions? I want to thank Adam for his work and let the board know that they are in the process, they've already completed the 23-24 audit. And I don't want to jump ahead here too far, Adam, but we can expect to be able to review that in our November meeting. Is that possible?
yes, that's the target. We did the field work and we had some questions and you sent us a bunch of emails, responses to the questions, so it's in process for finishing up the 24 audit.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
Adam, thanks a bunch. Greatly appreciate your assistance and diligence. Thanks for coming tonight.
So
Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
are we going to approve the report?
Next.
Yeah,
Next item on the agenda is discussion and direction regarding hiring a reorganization coordinator.
But we
we
didn't
can
vote
open
Oh.
or open it up for discussion.
We have to,
for the public.
Oh, okay.
public
Sorry.
comment first.
There is no comments online.
We move on to item B, discussion and direction regarding hiring a reorganization coordinator or assistant.
Wait,
We gotta vote on
we
the
didn't approve it.
financial.
Oh, it is.
We got to approve the audit report.
Yeah.
So I make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 2022-2023 audit report.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the 22-23 audit report be approved. Roll call. Chair Lee,
Yes.
Director Diamond,
Yes.
Director Tawana,
Yes,
Director Donahue.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Passes
you.
4-0.
Okay, moving on, item B, discussion and direction regarding hiring a reorganization coordinator or assistant.
If I may, I just had a meeting with the CAO and Rebecca Campbell and Director of Public Works and Assistant Director of Public Works in the county on Tuesday. And the county is taking this hiring out to the actual Board of Supervisors for this person to work for the county and then come into the district to do a full analysis of everything we've got, all the issues that we have to resolve here. Well, this is, and the district will end up having to pay for this, but the bottom line is it's a lot more appropriate for the county to do this analysis than it is for us. And there isn't any, in my opinion, there isn't any reason for us to do double duty for that process. So the county will take the request for an RFP to the Board of Supervisors on October 22nd. From that point, we'll take about 8 weeks to get, some applicants in. It'll take another 3 to 4 weeks to interview them and go through that. So we're looking at, from the county's perspective, we're looking at about a 3-month process, which would put us into the first part of the new year when that person would start working with us, our reorganization committee and myself. Excuse me. But again, I don't think there's any reason for us to have another person here that's first of all, we're gonna have to pay for the county's person. That's a given. So we don't wanna, I don't see there's any reason we can, or any way we can hire both people to do this, the one thing that the county's gonna be much better at than us.
so is it time for us to discuss yet, Chair? Is it?
Pardon me? Is it okay for us discussing?
I mean, are you finished with the
Yeah.
report?
That's on.
Okay, I have some questions, if you don't mind. Jacqueline, do you have questions too?
No.
Okay. Okay, I have a few questions. Now, first question is there anything in writing that expresses those things that you just explained to us here as the report from the county? You said you had a discussion with the CAO. You also said that they said certain things, and you stated that they had something that's going to be on their agenda coming up, and I'm just wondering, what do you have in writing with respect to this?
Nothing.
Okay.
They're putting it in
All
writing
right.
to send to the Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
So we'll get a copy of that.
Okay, I understand. So I'm missing something. I think I'm missing a few pieces as to whether or not the board was made aware of the fact that there would be this selection exclusive to the county versus having the board of directors be participating at least as a partial participant in the selection process, or even a veto, of having a veto ability, since, as you stated, we would be paying for it. And on that topic, is there anything in writing about how much this will cost us?
We have no idea. They're going to have to. So by the way, on the September 5th meeting, that's exactly what the county said. We're going to. It's going to cost you.
That wasn't a meeting.
Okay.
It was just a,
Okay,
Well,
hang
we
on.
did, in fact, say that the process itself is going to take a project manager that we're going to have to go and search for. And that's,
I just say.
Wait, I'm not finished.
The rest of the board was involved in, so she's looking for information that she doesn't even have or wasn't even exposed to.
Until this very moment.
Well, I
And I'm
so-
being expected to vote on something with a blank check.
well, this isn't that. You don't have to vote on this, you can turn and say, we don't want to do this.
Okay, well, I mean, I think there's some ground to cover between, can I get some information and throw the baby out with the bathwater? I think we have a lot of ground to cover there, and there's a recommendation being made when the board requested in the last meeting that we get someone to be an assistant here for a reason, okay? And now we're being told that, you know, there's no reason. So I want to know what the logic tree is that brings us to the conclusion that you're recommending that there's no reason to follow what the board has requested.
Okay, I'm not sure how to solve that problem because.
Well, we need something in writing.
I'll get that for you.
Yeah.
But
And
but
so,
that's what I'm saying is that this, how do I put this? This is a county project. It's not our job to evaluate everything we're doing. That's what they're coming in to do.
well, I disagree because I disagree, and I'd like to get council's support and opinion on this. I could be remembering incorrectly, but as I read the requirements for the application for dissolution, which I believe the rest of the board is still interested in doing, as I read that, one of the requirements for that is that we do this assessment. And the fact of the matter is the county wants to do theirs, so they're going to do theirs. And we should do ours because it is an adverse position. The county's best interest isn't necessarily to accept the board's recommendation. And so if we are going to be able to do what this board has decided that it wishes to do, there has to be some sort of support and advocacy by this board. And my position here, my concern at this point in time, if there's a bunch of hand waving at this time and just let the county do everything, everything will equal nothing for us. And that's not representative of the people of this community.
I remember it as Karina just said.
Thank you. Okay, I'm finished.
I think that we wanted to have a person independent, representing the wishes of the board. Unfortunately, the county has their person. We can't have the same person do everything. The county has their goals, and we have our goals, and I absolutely agree that we should have a veto say on the county person. I also feel that it would be really nice if Rebecca could come to the meeting next month and kind of explain that process a little more to us. I think that would be really a good person to show up, and she knows what she's doing.
Chair, can I have the floor again? Can I take the floor, please? Thank you. I appreciate what you're saying, Director Donahue. Many of us don't know who Rebecca is. Oh, hang on. I don't even want to know because I don't see anything in writing in front of me to evaluate. Secondarily, my position from my vote in the last meeting to do this was because I feel it's necessary for us to get our act together on this dissolution, and I see that there's some things that are not being accomplished. And the only thing I can think is our poor general manager is doing so many other things, it's too hard to focus on this thing. That's what I see. And in the event that, I don't know, someone might get ill or someone might need to be taking a couple of days off or attention gets turned to a third thing, we need continuity, all right? We need some continuity, someone other than you that knows what you're doing. Because right now it's just you and Kathy. It's the bills and the stuff we ask you to do from a staff perspective,
Yeah,
okay?
I appreciate what you're saying. The truth is, from my perspective, I probably took this a step too far because we don't have to do anything right now. We have to, first of all, I will tell you, the county is going to make us pay for this person.
I'm not questioning
Okay,
whether or
so
not, but when I pay
We
for
need
something,
her-
I want
we need
control
her
of
to
it.
stand here and explain that to us. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what you're both saying? Okay, let's get to know, have Rebecca come here. She's the Assistant County Administrator. She's in charge of this project along with all of her other, the Public Works and Parks and everybody else. So she's in charge, and she was here on September 5th. What we need to do is, you need to have more information, and I appreciate what you're saying. I can make that happen for the next meeting.
Okay, well, may I? I will relinquish the floor in a minute. Okay, appreciate it that we're moving along. This is October.
Yeah.
June, July, August, September, October. This is the only meeting we have scheduled for the month of October. My full expectation was to advise staff in the last meeting to do a certain thing we requested. Staff comes back and says, hey, the county's going to do that, and we don't need to do anything. And now staff is saying to me, let's have Rebecca come in November to talk to you so you can still think about it. You know, for a long time, I worked in a French headquartered company. And it really is the way of the French to do things in this manner. I was so relieved when I don't work for this company, because in an American company, we have goals, we set them, and we achieve them. And we don't kick the can. I feel like we're kicking the can. I'm going to relinquish the floor. I don't think it's good enough to just kick the can and wait for Rebecca and do something, because we're going to do an action tonight. I intend to make a motion tonight. Thank you.
I kind of agree with what Karina's talking about, and I think really we need a vote to have an RFP for an independent person that is different from the person that Rebecca and the Board of Supervisors select. Somebody that can be the liaison with them, hopefully work congenially with the county and oversee some of the things. So yes, Karina's absolutely right. Patrick, if you got sick, you know, we'd really be in trouble. I mean, we're very, very dependent on you. And so this would just be, it's an expense, it's an extra expense, but I think that it's what we wanted. I think that was what the intention was when we put this on the agenda last month. So
I appreciate what you're saying, and from my perspective, I was hoping not to spend, I'm hoping this is going to be, I appreciate, thank you both. I will also say this, it's going to cost us money, and you're right, you've asked for this. All I was saying is, the county is going to take this to the Board of Supervisors in October 22nd, I think. If we need a person here, we'll do an RFP by your vote tonight, which is why it's on the agenda. I'm suggesting I don't think we need it, but I work for you. So you tell me what you want and you can have it. I don't have any, my goal here is to make this work as easily and as profitably as possible. And we're in for a road of tough. So I'm with you. Thank you both for your comments and support. I appreciate it. But any other comments?
Any other board member?
Well, I would like to make a comment. I've been waiting to make a comment.
well, I agree with the road of tough. When I talked to Nubia,
It's time to spend now.
Okay. The unfortunate thing that's happened here is that two of our board members were not available to listen to all of the things that the county came and shared with us when we met on September 5th. And that's not their fault. We were just taking in information. Unfortunately, that information hasn't been disseminated to the rest of the board.
Right.
And I would like to propose that we get that information to the other people that were not able to attend, and share that with them in a written document of some kind. And I think that's what Director Tawana was mentioning. She would like to see something in writing because she was not able to participate and hear it. And the actual, it's a little off-putting to hear that we're going to be paying for a person that they hire at a rate that we have no awareness of, and be able to agree to that. And we need to hear, what is the compensation this individual is going to be paid? And if we are the ones that are going to be paying it, we should have a right to know that.
You certainly will, actually.
And so-
That's a given.
And so we can't expect the board to make a decision not knowing any of that.
Well, on the agenda, it does have a place for the report from the reorganization committee. Maybe we should move that up.
Do you have a report?
I don't have a report.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was since you've opened up that area,
Let's get to that.
we have been wanting to have a meeting, because we don't even have a chair for that committee. And so we have nothing to report because we don't know who the chairperson is, and we haven't had a chance to even meet to report out. So all of this is so premature. I would like to say, right now, the people that are supposed to attend, the members of that committee are supposed to be from the public, Mr. Prisock, our current chair, Holly Lee, and myself. And so I'd just like to say, I can take charge temporarily until we get a chair and meet. And I just would like, before the end of the evening, to get some dates and times that are possible for you, the other two people. And because that's the only way I can anticipate that we'd be able to get this thing rolling and have the dissolution committee meet. And then at that point in time, we can have a report for, it's just that it's just haphazard the way it's happened. And so, Nubia, are you listening?
I am, and if I may.
Do you have any comments?
Thank you.
And help a little bit in addressing a few key things. So I think for this particular agenda item, the direction and discussion that we're seeking is we have direction from the board to move forward, from your previous meeting, to move forward with hiring a reorganization consultant or assistant to help the district in its reorganization efforts. Basically an assistant to your interim general manager. Following our last meeting, or as part of, basically it all happened very close in time, the meeting with the county, there came as a result of that a possibility that the county would also see value in hiring somebody to spearhead the reorganization effort on behalf of the county and potentially as well in a joint effort with the district. So what we have before you tonight is our default is we've been given direction to look for someone to work for the district for part of the reorganization effort. On the other hand, the county has intimated that they're looking at doing something similar. And so I think to focus this particular issue, the direction we need tonight is, and what I'm hearing is, there be an inclination of this board to move forward with hiring a San Simeon reorganization assistant. Wait for written documentation and a written proposal from the county on potentially cost sharing for a general reorganization assistant that would work presumably for the county and potentially for the district. Or alternatively, the district could say, thank you, we appreciate it, but we're going to have our own assistant, and the county can have its own reorganization consultant. So I think maybe that's the focus of this particular agenda item, and I'm hoping that clarified a few things.
You're going to have public comment.
Well,
Discussion.
you were discussing, maybe, I remember that person, the assistant that we're going to hire would be on the reorganization committee. I don't remember that was a person that was to be the chair of the committee.
Nobody
No,
said
that's
that.
not-
Nobody said that. She didn't say that.
Don't you recall that the person that, the prospective assistant would be on the reorganization committee?
Well, potentially, I think
The
that's
staff is on the
that's a
committee.
possibility.
Staff.
The bigger issue is the expenditure of monies and time and effort direction to hire someone. So again, let me start with that. That's the direction we have. This board already provided direction to do that. Tonight, we can solidify that that's the only thing that we're doing, or we're doing that in combination with hearing out the county's proposal on their reorganization person. But yes, this person, if you hire somebody, could be on the committee, but keep in mind that this consultant or assistant could be used for all different purposes.
That's
As
right.
mentioned by Director Tawana, there's an interest in having someone just be general backup from an organizational administrative support standard position in the event that you need someone to attend meetings, or you need someone to cover for other people while they're out. So I think it could be a general purpose employee or consultant. That reminds me, so to Director Diamond's question about the committee itself, there is no chair, because as far as I know, this committee has not formally met.
No.
And that decision on a chair can be made by that committee. I don't think that that's really, that can be made at the committee level. It doesn't have to be the board chair. It could be anyone from the committee.
Okay, and so,
So I think maybe we can formulate a motion, but we would have to have public comment before we do that, right?
before we do what?
Make a motion.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, okay,
absolutely.
just, okay. All right, thank you, Nubia. For me, I appreciate that because you reiterated the statement as I would have, you did it better than me, so I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, me too. I say thank you, Nubia.
Yeah.
So are we,
So any public comment before we propose any kind of motion? Mr. Crusoe.
I'm not sure if this mic is on or not.
It is.
Yeah, speak
Let's
up.
get really close.
It's close. You're not-
Okay,
Hold it.
which one?
The black one.
The
Louder.
black one, okay. A couple of points. One is, I believe our district needs to assert itself in this process and object itself more aggressively in this process, which means the committee meets and we demand, for example, bi-weekly meetings with the county. We demand to see the draft of the package that's going to go before the Board of Supervisors before it's put in the board package, that we have a say in every decision along here, even if we can't vote on, for example, the selection of the consultant they hired, that we have a say in that process. So what I'm talking about is the first step, asserting the committee and demanding bi-weekly meetings, because they've got to go before the Board of Supervisors soon, and we have to push them getting an RFP on the street, okay? And then they're gonna know that we're not going away. We mean business. We can do that ourselves. The second part is it may be premature to try and go out with our own bid. If they're gonna write a bid, why would we bother writing a bid? We can carbon copy it, do whatever we want, but basically we can just use their bid. We can also see who responds, to see the quality of players out there, because they're going to be the same people bidding on a bid if you go forward with that. So my thought is, step one, rely on the committee, let's get it active and get something out to the county saying that we want to see that package, you know, in draft form. And then let's piggyback on an RFP, the process, the writing of it, then we don't have to write one from scratch. And more importantly, we get to see the candidates and we assure ourselves in that process of hiring that person. So I think it's premature to try and write our own RFP to interface with them when we haven't even seen their bid or the person they're hiring and so forth. So I'm just saying maybe slow down on one front, but assert yourself now in that process so we have a say all along. Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you, Hank. I think that's a very genius idea to
Well,
piggyback.
Thanks for all of it, but the point is that I'm ready to make a motion.
Please.
I have to think about it for a second. There's a few parts. For the first part, it would be that San Simeon Community Services District proceed in seeking a general assistant that would assist this process, whether or not the county has whether or not we reach conclusions with the county or we do not. In which case we could make another decision to hire a separate person than a general assistant. I mean a general administrative / board supporting, interim general manager supporting assistant that would cover items, follow up on items, make phone calls, do all kinds of things that the interim general manager probably has on his list but hasn't gotten to yet. And I'm trying to be as magnanimous as I can. I mean, honestly, I understand I'm in a position myself where you're underwater, so I'm not doing a very good job formulating a motion.
I think we already did that motion last
I
time.
think,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
We did.
Yes.
I think you're right.
We did that.
We did that. So then why are we here?
Well,
We want, I think it's the mechanics of the process.
A mechanics of the process.
Well, Hank talked about looking at the county's
But
RFP.
that might not be the RFP we want.
No, I agree.
But I'm saying that why do we wait? I don't want any more time to go by. We've got to act in this meeting, okay? And then we can do something more in another meeting. If once we do as what was suggested by the public, the committee should be acting as a committee, and the committee is not.
So, I agree.
So the direction that we received previously from the board was to hire someone to shadow and to assist your interim general manager.
Yay, that's what we want to
If they
do.
can assist in some of the administrative tasks associated with the reorganization, that's great, but the direction we got was you want another body on staff.
Yep.
So,
that was the direction.
there would be no need for any changes to that.
Okay.
For the second, more specific and area-specific assistant for reorganization, you don't need to take action tonight. You can, or you can wait until there's a proposal by the county, and alternatively see that documentation that is set to be prepared for the board of supervisors later this month.
I think that's a good idea.
Thank
only
you.
Because it will allow us to narrow down who this assistant should be, depending on who.
We don't have to hire, right? We can just vote on it now, because that means we determined to get one, because I
Well, we
think
did
I've
last
seen
time.
We don't even
have
need to
against
vote.
that
We already
idea
did
of
that.
hiring.
I want that person hired now.
I know, that's what we
don't
but
really know.
we get hired yet, but at least we say, Yeah, we want to hire them, but
Can
we
we
don't know what
direct the
kind of person.
reorganization committee to meet with county staff to give me a little more clarity on this?
I think those are two separate items. First of all, I think I got caught up in the fact that this is about an assistant for me, which I greatly would appreciate. And then the other part is based on having that person, the reorganization committee can function at a higher level because I'll be a part of that too. But that's a separate item. I mean, whether we're involved with the county or not. I brought that up that's what I was, that's what I do. I bring stuff to you and you don't have to agree or anything. I know, that's the way it works. So what you're asking is, can I get out an RFP for an assistant? Yes, I can, immediately.
Yep.
Well, do we need an RFP for?
Well, you don't really need an RFP. It's just, can you hire somebody to help you? Yeah, you don't need an RFP.
And we previously had discussed RGS, and.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
And we don't need an RFP for them. We've already previously.
I would like to take some consideration of what Rebecca and the county has to say as far as the kind of person that they would like to work with. I mean, they're working very, very
We
closely.
already have a discussion.
We already
get
have
our
that.
own. We don't want to use the
No.
county. Otherwise,
No,
why would
I
we
understand
keep
we have
the
our own. I'm
county?
not saying that we shouldn't have our own. Absolutely
And-
not.
and-
You misunderstood. I would
And if
want
you recall,
somebody that could work closely with them.
RGS wouldn't extend their contract unless that person, that contract was in direct coordination and partnership with the county. So that's why
I don't know. Did you talk to RGS about that? I don't remember seeing anything in the record that told us that there was some stipulation by RGS that they would not work with us unless they were hired by the county.
I can.
That's not my understanding. I believe RGS would be interested in assisting the district. We just have to make clear what it is that we're seeking. But the impression I got in my communications with RGS is that they're still willing. The question is to what extent. And there is a possibility that they can do both roles. They could do a general administrative assistant support, provide that, and in addition to that, also provide more tailored specific reorganization support as well.
They've done it before.
And they were fired the last time when they were at the harbor.
So,
I really looked into RGS and especially the local guy that's in Apple Beach. I'm not comfortable.
Good, but don't vote for him then.
so make the motion to.
I'd like to make a motion right now to request that council begin a negotiation with RGS to hire them in item A, role as assistant to the interim general manager for general duties, and B, to the extent that we determine that is required by San Simeon after discussions with the county, to serve as the San Simeon representative for the reorganization, if that should occur.
I would like to make a different a motion, completely different.
Hang on, I made the motion.
She made a
It's on
motion,
the
we need to bring it forward.
There's been a motion, and is there
I
a
second
second?
it.
Vote on that, okay.
Is there a
I second it. I thought it.
second?
I seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote. Director Diamond?
Yes.
Pardon me, Chair Lee?
Yes.
Director Tawana?
Yes,
Director Donahue?
No.
good,
Okay, it passes 3-1.
thank you. All right, now we did something. I feel good.
So,
We didn't just have another committee to do something.
so we're now on 7.
On 7.
Yay.
This is staff and committee report. We already got FIM, now move on to II. Dr.
Interim General Manager.
Interim General Manager's
Yeah.
report.
Okay. Okay, the Pipe Bridge logjam. Pipe Bridge continues working on the approvals for the logjam removal. They have received the permit approvals from most of the requisite agencies. I think there's 8. However, we are waiting on the final approval from the Coastal Commission and the Cavalier Corporation for access to their property. As you'll recall, Precision Construction Services provided us with costs for a complete replacement of the pipe bridge, estimated at plus or minus $593,000. However, Precision also suggested we discuss with Ashley Vance whether we might be able to replace only the pipes with the estimated cost at plus or minus $130,000. I spoke with Ashley Vance and they told me they had done the potential review of replacing only the pipes. However, due to the condition of the bridge and the pipes, they had ruled out replacing pipes only. I met online with a team from Cal OES, Office of Emergency Services, the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, after I submitted a notice of interest for consideration with a Hazard Mitigation Assistance Program grant to pay for the logjam. While we do not qualify for this grant, they did take our information for future opportunities, because there are some. I've also contacted the State Water Resource Control Board about financial assistance. Currently, I'm writing applications for several of the funding opportunities that we appear to qualify for. The data required is significant, and it takes takes a little bit of diving into a bunch of different websites, but we do qualify as a median household income. What's the word I'm not thinking of? Poor community.
A distressed community.
Thank you. I also had a phone conversation with Ali Oliver, Enforcement Officer, Central Coast District, California Coastal Commission regarding the Pico stairway. The CCC has determined that the district must repair or replace the stairway. We've already placed signs at the stairway indicated that the stairs are a public safety hazard and should not be used. This all goes back to the Commission-approved CDP number 4-85-180 in 1985, which required the district to accept responsibility to maintain the stairway. At that time, no property ownerships were identified or contested, and in short, as CCC, Coastal Commission says, by virtue of the 1985 CDP, and regardless of ownership status, San-Simeon is the party responsible to maintain the subject access way. I have, as you know, last meeting I pointed out that we had asked Ashley Vance to come out and review an actual, to provide us with an evaluation of the stairway, which I did provide the California Coastal Commission. And so now I've asked them to come back and do an actual cost for repair or replace of the stairway, which I will bring to the board in November. The ultimate, given that we have clearly been told that we have to do it, we'll have to have a plan and a way to do that. So part of what I'm doing with these grant applications is trying to find money to pay for logjam, pipe bridge, and stairway. State parks continue to be behind in reading their wastewater treatment plant meter lift station data and thus payment to the district. I have requested more than once, requested a meeting with Superintendent File1hr to resolve this issue. We have not received any information on that pumping station since late June. So that's about a $30,000 problem. My without getting personal, I'm not real comfortable dealing with the superintendent. That's my report.
I have a comment. I think at this time we should escalate the request to the state park to council. And if we don't receive it, we're going to escalate it. Okay? Because we want the money, we're going to attach it. Okay? I don't think the state is going to be able to, I don't think the state's going to not pay their bill if we assert ourselves. What do you think, council? State.
That's something that we have to evaluate. Maybe I missed that, I'm not quite sure.
The state's not paying their bill, they're not paying their water bill, they're not providing the information as is required, and we've asked them to do it over and over since June, and they've still not paid $30,000 at this point.
I could give you all the information, Nubia, too.
Didn't they pay $130,000 now?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah, they paid through the end of June.
Through the end of June,
Yeah.
but they haven't paid it
No.
forward from there.
My discussion originally with him was that we would get monthly meter readings, and we got a couple because FRM gets that information, but it's been sporadic, and the last 2 months we haven't gotten any.
So FRM gets who reads the meters?
Well, actually, that's what I'm saying. The parks actually read their own meter and send us the data.
How do they get to read their own? I want to read my meter.
I want to read mine too.
I want to submit my own meter reading.
Yeah, well, this is the pattern that's been here for decades, so I don't know that that's possible for us to go up and read their wastewater treatment plant.
Well, I don't think it's possible for us to give them water anymore.
Well, we don't give them water. We just treat their wastewater.
They're going to feel it when they can't flush the toilet.
If I like your idea to escalate it to a letter that's a little more powerful than mine, I guess, because I'm not actually being successful. So maybe I can provide you with the actual numbers and data and context, if that'll help.
Yes, that'd be great. And we will work with Patrick to see what can be done, and maybe encourage a little more, a faster response and payment.
Thank you.
If not, then if we're unsuccessful, then we'll bring back a closed session item for the board's consideration.
Sounds great.
Good.
I would like to ask that we discuss tonight expanding this Ashley Vance evaluation of the stairway to include demolishing the stairway and making a path that's handicap accessible path and a separate stairway that just 1 in 12 incline down to the beach. So this would not, it would be off to the north of the existing stairway. So if that could be done, I think that the Coastal Commission is extremely concerned about handicap access from reading all their letters. And if we're going to have to demolish a stairway, we might as well have an alternative route, which is both a stair and an handicap incline. Okay,
I will certainly bring that to Ashley Vance's attention.
Thank you. Is there any board member that has any comments on that?
I would caution against,
We're not talking
against
about this.
discussion on that item. It's not agenda.
It's not
for
agenda.
action tonight.
Yeah.
It's part of the
Thank you.
interim general manager's report on where things are at with that. I think it can be taken
Right.
under advisement or consideration, but in terms of action, formal action, we can't do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elena.
Thank you, Maria. So district financial summaries,
We've done it.
Pardon?
we done that, right?
Well, it's on here, but Yeah, the reorganization committee report, we haven't had a meeting, so that's going to take place shortly, I'm sure. So there's no report.
No, we have item number 3, the district
July
financial
August.
summary.
Oh, we had that already.
No, that was about the audit.
That he went over, not the
Oh.
The audit 22 and
Yeah,
23.
I'm sorry, I didn't keep him on the line.
Okay.
That's from Adam.
Can I
We,
ask you, on that topic, who did the actual balance sheet and profit and loss statements for July and August?
Kathy did the balance sheet and information that you're getting in the financials, but Adam went through them with her,
Oh, okay.
and that's why he was going to stay here, and I forgot to ask him to do that, so I apologize. But he actually approved that,
He approved it.
the 2 months that we have, September and October. What I'll do is we've asked Adam to do our monthly financial review with the board.
Mhm.
He's agreed to do it. And so that was my mistake, so to let him go before we did that. But I'll have him participate in the district financials as well as the 23-24 audit the next week.
So she's putting in the numbers, but he's looking it over to make
Yes,
sure it's.
yes,
okay.
well, that's, yes, correct.
Thank you. Now, moving on, item 4, district council report.
I have no report tonight.
Thank you, council.
And there's no reorganization.
Yeah, reorganization committee report. Anybody want to make some comment on that?
I just going to temporarily take over during this week and try to get some dates from everybody where we can have a meeting.
Excellent.
Do you have time now? Can you guys pull your calendars out right now? Everybody's here.
Everybody's here.
Okay, well, let me ask, Holly, I know you work, so can you meet at all during the?
Why am I being picked on possible works?
Yeah, because you're on the committee. Okay, do you have available time during the week?
Yes, Friday would be
Friday?
best for me, because I don't have a meeting.
Oh, okay. So maybe if you could give me a couple of, everyone could email me a couple of times that they could, I don't imagine it's going to be more than an hour at the most. A couple of times that you can meet on Fridays.
Afternoon?
In the afternoons or in?
Sure.
My favorite time for a meeting.
Yeah, happy hour.
Oh, no, we'll do it before that. Either that or we'll do it at happy hour.
Yeah.
We'll meet at 111 people.
Yeah, we'll meet at the office, and if that works on Friday.
Sure.
Okay, so what if we decide to meet at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon, this coming, oh wait,
Tomorrow's the
Tomorrow,
4th.
Friday.
That would be the
oh,
11th.
that's tomorrow. Oh, I can't, okay. It'll have to be next week.
Next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. Is
The
that,
11th?
11.
2 o'clock on the 11th.
2
Yeah,
o'clock on the 11th, okay. 2 o'clock on the 11th, everybody's okay with that? All right, we'll meet at the office. Okay.
This is great.
Great. All right, well, moving on.
We need public comment, right?
Is there public comment on any?
On every item. Yeah. Public comments?
Nobody online.
Non-district report.
obviously the sheriff
Sheriff?
was able to make it today.
Okay, so we don't have that. Any public comments?
Nobody online.
All right. Cool session, everybody.
So
So go ahead and read that.
Can you read that? Public comments on closed session agenda are limited to 3 minutes per person per item. Otherwise, the board will adjourn to closed session to address the following items. A, conference with legal counsel. Anticipated litigation, exposure of litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 of subdivision D of Government Code 54956.9. We have 3 potential cases. B, public employee performance evaluation. Government Code 54957B1, interim general manager. C, report upon conclusion of closed session.
No, that's, you can go ahead and go to closed session.
Public comments?
Nobody, fine.
Okay, so we're going to close the meeting.
Gavel one start. Or adjourn.
Adjourn.
For closed session.
Closed session.
Yeah, 3. The board is back in session.
Board is back in session, we reconvene, and staff report out of closed session, please.
Yes, on all items, the pre-pending, pre-anticipated litigations and the performance review directions have been provided to staff.
Thank you.
So
Board comments and
You read that, you have to read the little blurb there.
thing.
You read that and then you say it's determined.
this section is intended as an opportunity for the board members to make brief announcement, request information from staff, request future agenda items, and or report on their own activities related to district business. No action is to be taken until an item is placed on a future agenda. Board,
So I would like to agendize the dog poop receptacle over there by the stairway.
okay, we go for the future agenda.
Make a note.
Yeah.
Just make a note of it.
Which location? Just make it when you do it.
Yeah, they already have a place where there's no bags, it's empty bags, whatever. There's already,
But you know that locations, right?
yeah.
There's one.
We're not discussing it now.
If you want to do
the meeting is adjourned.
it. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.